welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kende Boduri.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
As usual, we are delighted to start the day with you. And as always, we begin with a quick look at today's newspaper headlines before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by liking, following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. You can also share. Thank you. So joining us virtually this morning all the way from Toronto, Canada, is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for all.
Good morning to you, Barrister.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you so very much for your time. So let's kickstart today with the first daily on our desk, the Guardian newspaper. Interestingly, a lot of the pages are filled up with the unveiling of the new logo.
Yeah.
New logo of the Nigeria Revenue Service from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Only God knows how much was used to construct this logo. I just hope it's not in the millions.
You don't want to take a guess of the amount.
I hope it's not in the millions like that of the Nigerian Air. 30 million for website. Well, let's get to the Guardian newspaper for today. And we have the big story, actually. Venezuela, the crisis may create $10 billion hole in federal government's 58 trillion naira spending plan.
And on the top strip, we have tax law controversy deepens as National Assembly releases CTC.
And also, Tinubu unleashes security as terrorists kill 30, abduct many in Niger.
Oh, we don't really even have much on the newspapers. The last one we have U.S. action against Venezuela on democratic against international laws.
All right, so let's get talking. Barrister, the biggest news in the world right now is, would we call it abduction at this point or extrajudicial rendition? I do not know what word to use now for Nicolas Maduro. What's your take on this? What was your feeling the first time you learned that had happened?
Well, it's not a very good sight because if you look at the UN Convention, if you look at that Article 4.2 and you look at Article 51, you see that the action of the US in violation of the aforementioned articles. Okay, Venezuela is a sovereign state. I mean, even though it's bedeviled with some crisis, okay, and some level of accusation have been made and leveled against the president and all that. It would have been neater or clearer if the United States has taken actions that are within the limits of the United Nations Charter. But the action taken so far is outside the scope of the Charter, which makes it quite illegal in the eyes of international law. Okay, so when you want to brood and look at it from the standpoint of international public law, you cannot do anything but to run into that conclusion that from the eyes of law there are problems. I mean, you question yourself also whether the U.S. Congress sanctioned that particular move, whether U.S. Congress sanctioned it and the rest of that. So a lot of comments have been made in different corners that this may lead to political instability all over the world, and it does not conform to processes and procedures of international public law, and so many assertions have been made so far. But the days to come will determine where this story is going, because it's still a fledgling story. So we'll follow it up as it unfolds.
Okay,
Yes.
Definitely. And do you think this action would bring more politics than law, like more of like analyzing the motives of what just happened? So is this action driven more by politics than law?
Well, these days, people are accentuating pragmatism, and people are trying to push forth the importance of pragmatism over law. But the danger of that is that it therefore leads to series of violations. Because if law is kept at abeyance, and then pragmatism is now, taking ahead of what law stands for, represents. Now means there will be no limit to violation. Okay. So, like I said, it's a breaking story. It's still a fledgling story. The days to come will determine how far this is going to go. Already there are commentaries from different parts of the world, from different media stations, with different international law experts and diplomacy and the rest of that. So we just watch and see where this takes us to.
All right, so we watch and see where this takes us to. And according to what was agreed in 1648, that's what they used to call Westphalian sovereignty, when the world came together to say every president is independent. No president has a right over another person's president, over another person's country's leader. Okay, the Westphalian sovereignty, has been there. So, but this is not the first time. In 1984, the same United States actually abducted Manuel Noriega from Panama. So this is not new, and we hope that something will be done to hope that this will not happen, because right now, as we speak, China is actually going after Taiwan, hoping they would invade. And Russia is still with Ukraine, hoping they would invade. So this could be a precedent here.
But the danger in that is that, the danger in all this is that if you look at that Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, it talks about the fact that the country under reference that has been invaded have a right under international law and diplomacy to put up self-defense by way of striking. Yeah, by way of striking back or defending the territorial integrity of the country. Why it should not be encouraged is that whilst Article 4.2 allows for every country to manage its territorial integrity and not to be invaded by any other country, why that is stated clearly, Section 51 clearly states that in the event that any country invades another in the manner under reference, that country that has been invaded has a right under international public law to put up self-defense and resistance. You can see that it's dangerous. So it's a dangerous thing. So you can only succeed in invasion to the extent that the country invaded does not put up self-defense. So if they put up self-defense, that could escalate into some kind of war. Okay, so that's why it's not encouraging that we have. So let's respect the United Nations Charter. Countries should respect that legislation as a primary international legislation on the issue under reference. Because if you discard it and the country that you are invading takes a decision on self-defense, then it may affect even neighboring countries. So that is why it should be avoided.
Very well said. All right, let's move to Nigeria this time around. We have Tinubu unleashes security as a terrorist killed 30. Some new, the new media, right? Some people are reporting 40. Some are reporting 42. 35 or so. But for the Guardian newspaper, they said 30 killed, abducted many in Niger. Barrister, speak to us on this, especially from the perspective that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing this ordering from Paris in France. Does it really ring a bell here? Does it truly come with authority that a president that should be sitting at home ordering and watching everything while everything is being carried out is doing that from France? And we do not know why he is in France in the first place. What's your take on this, Barrister?
Well, yeah, let me get the story itself. And I know the president's in France. I didn't get the story that you read out.
Yes, the story is actually about the killing of Nigerians in Niger State by bandits. About 40 plus were killed and many were abducted. Yeah. So President Bola Tinubu had ordered that the military should go and get those who have committed this heinous crime.
Yeah, okay. I saw that news yesterday. Yeah. Okay, it's just about the same recklessness we've been talking about. okay, that at a time where the president ought to have declared a state of emergency in areas affected by these bandits and insurgents, is a way out of the country. That is why the United States have consistently concluded that the federal government is not ready to fight insurgency. It's not ready. And the fact that they said it, it's not just a rhetoric. We knew that already long before now, because the way they've gone about it has not demonstrated any seriousness whatsoever. So we know that already. And look at what is going on right now. Okay, it's not just in Niger State. There's also an attack in Adamawa State. Villages were burned down in Adamawa State. The insurgents also released a statement that everyone should convert to Islam or face the consequences of that, or face the consequences of non-compliance. And they also said that they're going to collect tax from people, you know, in the process. So you can see that the threat is not just, and also in Kano, there was protest. I don't know that you are aware of that.
Yes, we saw that. Yeah, there's a protest.
There was protest in Kano against the action of the U.S. on the Christmas Day invasion and the rest of that. Then you ask yourself, who are we protesting against? Are people okay? Are you protesting against a country that came to rescue the situation, or you're protesting against your government? You understand? The truth is that this president is not able to manage Nigeria, or is not able to manage Nigeria. He has not shown any level of competence over time. And so every expression that truly this government seems to be looking the other way in the mix of varying attacks from different communities, one community to the other, is valid that this government is not doing much. It's not doing much. Look, the attacks that you have and the numbers recorded are media accounts, and most of those accounts that the media, you know, are putting out there are estimations, because the media, they are not there. They don't go there. They are also scared. So most of the times, they are making phone calls to people in the locality or something like that, and they are getting information from there. So it's really more serious than it is reported. The story of insurgency in Nigeria is underreported. Okay? Yeah. And so when you have insurgency all over the country, you expect that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to be on his toe and on the situation, ordering the army, the navy, the air force, and all relevant security agencies to go curb the issue and nip this in the bud, exterminate it completely. But that is not what we're seeing. We're seeing a different thing entirely. We're seeing a different, and the National Assembly is not able to convey, to make a demand on the executive. That's the worst part of it. The National Assembly can't even do anything. Meanwhile, its responsibility is to oversight the action of the executive and bring the executive to the right direction to act and take decisions as at when due. But they are not doing anything about it. So I don't know who's going to rescue who in the circumstance under reference.
Okay. You know, we cannot overemphasize insecurity issues in the northern region of Nigeria. And this brings me to this question: why is it always Niger State? Okay, let me not use the word always. Why does Niger State remain highly vulnerable when it comes to these insecurity issues?
It's not just Niger State. Niger, I mean, okay, if you are talking about states under the strong flashpoint, you are talking about Borno State. You talk about Adamawa, okay? Yeah. And those two states are the flashpoint. Then Niger State, not too long, they deepened insecurity in Niger State. Then before you move to the northwest, okay? Yeah. So you see, the insecurity is as deep as the government have allowed it to fester uncontrollably. You know, it is the decisions of the federal government is why, look at, you have a national security advisor, for example, who have been accused by one of the presidents in one of the African countries as for providing arms and ammunition to some bandits that were caught who claimed to be hunters or vigilantes. Okay, when you have that kind of national security advisor, who is to all intents and purposes a sympathizer to this cause, then you have a problem. You have a problem at hand, a serious problem, because then the fate of the country is abdicated. It's not a priority. The fate of Nigeria is not a priority. It's some other remote interest. It's what is being served. Okay? Remote interest is what is being served. So, if you have that kind of situation, definitely, you're not going to have peace anytime soon. After the attack, you see that there's protests everywhere. The government is not able to caution the protesters in Kano who took a caricature image of Trump and they were, doing all that. And government have not said a word about it. Government have not released any statements and the rest of that, nothing like that. Even when the government issued a statement that this attack was in collaboration with the federal government and all that, the people are going after, and the government is watching. So the situation has gone out of hand in Nigeria. That is the truth. And Muslims cannot subject Christians to coercion, to force them to convert. They want to practice their religion, they can practice their religion. Okay. When I to ask people to convert under compulsion or pay tax and they'll get killed, will not be acceptable. Will not be acceptable.
Very well. So out of that, because during our main conversation, we'll have more of that discussion on the security matters and Nigeria and religion and so on. But let's move to tax for a bit, because it's the new year. The 1st of January, kicked it off, and let's get to what we have. Brace for anti-tax unrest. NRS tells security agency, Nigeria Revenue Service, that is. Barrister, I do not know, is the NRS mandated to instruct the Nigerian security architecture on what to do, because they feel that their grotesque policies won't go down well with Nigerians?
They have seen the signs already. It's not their responsibility to do that. It's the responsibility of the police to make such instructions. Okay? See, on this tax issue, there's going to be a lot of crisis, because first, you are taxing the poor. No matter what kind of innovation you are putting there, as long as you have not made the environment conducive for business to thrive and for to cover unemployment, and there's no vibrant economy, you understand? You're going to have problem with that tax process, procedures. You're going to have problem. The intention might be right, the intention might be okay to raise money and all that, but you don't raise money under an emergency situation, under poverty, and where citizens are barely surviving. Okay, that's not supposed to be the agenda of a country. A country is supposed to project, let the people scale up, scale up lifestyle, scale up medical, scale up healthcare, scale up all the essentials, okay? And then bring the people to some level of stability, stabilize, what do you call inflation, interest rate, credit facilities, and make electricity available. Okay, make the country running, make it running. Okay, before you begin to ask that they provide this or provide that, they pay this or pay that. You're not able to do that, that's a problem. Two, the analysis and explanation of the tax and the model, how they're going to collect it, they are too much and divergent. Different versions, even from government itself. Someone will tell you if you make up to 800, What is in the law itself will tell you another thing. Then the one that's gazetted will be different from the one that's not gazetted. Then the one that was passed will be different from the one that is being used. So when you have such kind of foolish confusion all over the place, you have already created the recipe for non-compliance and the recipe for confusion. What is hard in having one document passed by the National Assembly, same document, gazetted, with same information, and let's have one proper legislation to work with, one document. What's wrong with that? They now have multiplicity everywhere. Everybody analyzing it, everybody giving their own version all over. There's no central unit where you can go and get information that is the true information. Even government is confused. Even the federal government does not even know the law is passed. So is that how you are going to enforce your tax? Then the next thing now brought in France into it. So I don't know. This whole thing is confusing. It boils down to lack of leadership. The APC government is not a government that can stand the test of time. And thankfully, there is opposition springing up everywhere. We have to rescue Nigeria. This government have no clue, have no system, have no methods.
It's actually quite bad. You know, yesterday someone on the social media was stating that he booked for air ticket like 2 months back, just for him from Port Harcourt to Lagos. All right, just on getting to board his flight, they were told that they needed to pay 7.8% in addition to what he booked for. He booked for 200,000 naira and was asked to pay 7.8%. That's about 17,000 something in addition to that. And when he asked why, they said it was Tinubu's money. That was what they said. According to him, it was Tinubu's tax money. So you could imagine 7.8% times. It's now all over the place. So if you're doing domestic, you know, a flight right now, you need to pay 7.8% in addition to what you had already paid. So you can see how complex, just like
so it has to do with, you know, having extra. Even
you need to have extra. So you need to be prepared for anything that comes, or else they won't allow you, you know, board.
Oh, this is serious.
It's really
that's one part you are seeing on the street. You see how they surreptitiously brought in extra charge on transfer.
Oh, okay.
On the 1st, you didn't get notification. There was notification sent by banks on the 1st, on New Year Day. Now apart from the VAT that you pay on those transfers, there's now another fee that you're paying again on it. Okay, which was attributed to the tax law just passed, but I've checked that it's not there. And then there's enforcement already. So where did that one come from? So I mean, you see that the country is not well managed.
Wow.
And then a lot of people are going to clash on it. I don't know what the level of. I'm being told that foodstuff has gone down, purchase has gone down, but everything is not foodstuff. In some country, they don't even buy foodstuff. Government brings it to you. Yes, in some countries. Yes. Where I am now, if you don't have food, you go to a food bank to take food. And you take as much as you want that can take you for the entire month. The next month you go back there, they give you another one. So when you have a country where policies are flying left, right, and center from everywhere, different places, and at the end of the day, we don't know the one that you follow. So you can imagine in a country, people in the airport, they are telling somebody that is stealing money, tax money. These are supposed to be educated people. So I think we are grounding that country to death. That's what's going on. And grounding gradually to death. The country has subsisted. It has tried to breathe. Nobody will allow it breathe until now. We're talking about grounding now. That's exactly what they're doing. And then the next thing they will tell you that 2027 is around the corner.
Exactly.
They will tell you about politics. Nobody's talking about the economy. And one of the things you learn as a political scientist is political economy, because the two of them cannot be separated. As much as you discuss politics, you discuss the economy alongside it, because the economy that sustains the act of politics itself. But here, nobody cares about the economy, just about politics. If they care about the economy, they will be talking about electricity, they will be talking about healthcare, they will be talking about the citizens, the masses, policies that will benefit the masses and that will, give them a soft landing in the scheme of things. But that's not what they're discussing at all. Nobody's discussing that. The safety of the citizens is not even guaranteed, and the government don't care about it. You're talking about the ones that are killed through insurgents. Government is not doing anything about it, let alone those that are kidnapped. Those that are kidnapped, at least they are alive. It's ransom that they have not paid. But the ones that are elderly killed, government is not doing. They are looking at the insurgents eyeball to eyeball, and that's exactly what's going on. So that's you sustain that in a country where kidnappers will call the family to bring ransom. They will get the ransom. The kidnappers will count it, and they will tell the family that it's not complete. Not complete, that they should go and get the full money or they increase it. They go and meet police. Police will communicate with the bandit. They will tell police that the reason they've not released them is because it's not complete. Police will now be running around to follow them to make the money to be complete. To go and give them. That is the country that we're discussing. We're wasting our time. This analysis is a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
It's actually so. It's funny, but it's a very serious issue. And as much as we wouldn't want to do comparisons here, lots of people are beginning to compare Nigeria and Venezuela, because that is almost the same indices, the same parameters, the same everything. Policies, draconian, grotesque policies of Nicolas Maduro on the people of Venezuela. A rich oil country like Nigeria, with the biggest oil reserve, second to Saudi Arabia. And just like Nigeria, and the leaders there have not been able to properly utilize and manage the country. And that's what we have equally in Nigeria. But we would be back, people, and that is when we return on our main conversation. Gumi accuses U.S. of labeling him a Boko Haram member. And that in a bit is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.